Hare Krishna Prishthaya Pudali Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nithinamini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Vijarini Vishesha Srinivadi Pachati Deshatarani Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna. Today I am going to read the book Namacharya by Srila Haridasa Thakura. Serpent in the cave. A poisonous smell began to manifest in the cave of Haridasa Thakura, and the offensive odor created such a nauseous atmosphere that no one seeking his association could tolerate it for more than a few moments. All of his visitors, finding the acrid smell and toxic fumes overwhelming, met together and tried to understand why the atmosphere appeared so polluted. Some learned physicians in the village, who were also experts in the treatment of snake bite, were able to ascertain the cause. A large serpent was dwelling in the cave, like dwelling with the saintly Vaishnava. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura comments, considering that it is never proper to live with a cruel, deceitful, fierce, poisonous snake, the visitors requested Haridasa to shift to another place. Haridasa Thakura was surprised by their request, since he had not noticed any burning sensation, but replied, "Since you are all suffering and unable to tolerate the burning of the poison, I will leave tomorrow for another place. If there is a snake in this cave and it doesn't leave by tomorrow, then I will leave and go to some other place. Don't worry, let us all chant Krishna's names." As the Brahmanas chanted with the Thakura, to their surprise, the large snake immediately left the cave. Vrindavan Dasa Thakura writes, "The large, wonderful snake looked most fearful, yet it was also very beautiful, being colored yellow, blue, and white. As the Brahmanas saw the brilliant jewel adorning its head, they fearfully remembered Krishna. After that snake left that place, the Brahmanas were overjoyed to find that the burning sensation was gone. They all appreciated Haridas' marvelous potency and developed great devotion for him. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura explains that this incident had the effect of convincing many atheistic non-devotee Brahmanas who were attached to yogic perfections that Haridas Thakura was as exalted as others had claimed. They all developed special respect for Haridasa on the strength of this incident. Previously, they had considered that Haridas' birth in a Muslim family indicated a sinful background. However, seeing that the mere wish of the Thakura was sufficient to cause a dangerous serpent to quit the cave out of respect, they considered that his mystic opulence was extraordinary, and thus they considered him the best of the Brahmanas. The fact that the Brahmanas only considered Haridasa Thakura great upon his display of mysticism in the form of a materially inexplicable event shows clearly that such Brahmanas were Tujabandhus, unqualified descendants of Brahmanas. Such displays of mystic power are very impressive to those who require a mundane demonstration of extraordinary power to be relieved of doubt and cynicism. For the pious souls, the transforming example and behavior of the Thakura convinced them of his divinity and melted their hearts. However, we see that in the life histories of great devotees, they sometimes feel compelled to exhibit such mysticism for the benefits of cynics, atheists, and neophyte followers. There are many such examples of miraculous displays in the lives of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Jesus Christ, Sri Madhavacharya, Sri Namacharya, Lord Buddha, and other saints. According to his followers, when Lord Buddha was asked about miracles and mystic power, he identified three kinds of miraculous powers: the power to appear as many persons, to pass through walls, to fly through the air, walk on water. These are physical actions that ordinary people cannot perform. The power to read other people's minds, the power to be able to guide people according to their mental development for their own good, using suitable methods appropriate for each person. He taught that a monk who displays the first two superhuman powers for his own sake in order to impress people is no different than a shaman or a magician. Lord Buddha said that a monk who practices such worldly miracles, unless it is solely to convince them to take up the path of enlightenment, is a source of shame, humiliation, and disgust. This is because such actions may impress and win converts and followers, but they do not help them put an end to their suffering. The third kind of superhuman power, which Lord Buddha calls the miracle of instruction, helps people to get rid of suffering. This, in Lord Buddha's opinion, is the only power that is fit to be practiced and which he encouraged and practiced. In a similar vein, Srila Prabhupada, when asked about his mystic powers, pointed to his disciples and remarked that they were the evidence of his mystic power. The hearts of those who had been addicted to meat eating, illicit sex, many forms of intoxication and gambling had been transformed, and they had become saintly persons. Although pure Vaishnavas and elevated saintly persons have all mystic perfections at their command by the grace of Yogeshwara, they do not generally bother with developing or exhibiting such powers, except in the rare instance that displays will create faith in the hearts of doubting persons and inspire them to take up the path of devotional service. Vrindavana Dasa Thakura explains that it is not so glorious that the snake left due to Haridasa Thakura's request. Vrindavana Dasa Thakura explains what is glorious. Simply by his Haridasa Thakura's glance, one's bondage, bond of nescience is destroyed. Even Lord Krishna does not transgress the words of Haridasa. Srila the Saraswati Thakura explains that only one who is blessed by Haridasa Thakura is able to constantly chant the name of Hari and take shelter of the pure holy names without committing offenses. And thus, his contamination of ignorance, which is the root of material enjoyments, is totally uprooted. As a result of serving Haridasa Thakura and receiving his mercy, the Supreme Lord becomes obliged. Let us all pray for the service and blessings of Namacharya Srila Haridasa Thakura. May he enable us to come to the platform of constant, offenseless standing of the holy name.
Yes, Mataji, I think that's the.
Okay, so the summary of this reading is here it is emphasized about the power of the holy name and how a saintly person in certain circumstances does like mysticism in order to develop faith in other people. One of the story mentioned is that Haridasa Thakura was living in a cave, and there was a poisonous. There was like poisonous smell was coming out of the of the cave, and the visitors couldn't tolerate it. Finally, somebody found out that there was a poisonous snake was dwelling in there, they requested him to come out, but Haridas Thakura told them that he will come out tomorrow if the snake did not leave by tomorrow. So anyway, Haridas Thakura told the visitors to let's chant the holy name of the Lord, and then eventually the poisonous snake come out of the room. So that was like a people felt that was like a mysticism. Sometimes great devotees are compelled to do that type of mysticism in order to convince the neophytes or people who are atheists to make them their followers or to create bhakti in them, for faith in them. Um, they do such mysticism. And Prabhupada also was saying that somebody asked him, Prabhupada, does any mysticism? Then he said that um, the evidence of his mysticism is his devotees. His devotees were doing all bad things, and then now they all become saintly persons. And at the end, it is saying that only one who is blessed by Haridas Thakura is able to constantly chant the name of the Hari and take shelter of the pure names without committing offenses. And thus his contamination of ignorance, which is the root of material enjoyment, is totally uprooted. Um, that's what it is saying. So we have to chant the holy name offenselessly.